Hey everyone, welcome back to Python on Azure with Marlene and Gwen. This is our second episode. So excited. We just keep getting like banger guests and it's awesome.
Exactly.
Community's so eager to talk to us, which is awesome. Today we have the one and only Vivi, a person of many hats. But you're doing DevRel, you're doing, you know, some development. There's like so many things that you do. How about you just give us a quick intro? What's your day to day? What are you doing?
Sure. First of all, happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm BB. I do things at Hugging Face, as I like to say, and I've been at Hugging Face for about 3 years now. I started actually as an intern, and now I lead the developer experience and community side of things at Hugging Face, um, with some of the open source side of teams as well. What my day to day looks like, it's actually really, really hard to say because no 2 days have been the same in the past 3 years. And I often joke with my boss, like Julian, who's our CTO, is that whenever the 2 days start to be the same, like I should probably leave. But that's what it is. Like a typical day would usually be you know a bit of like working on whatever new feature we're about to release, or just gathering as much feedback from the community, be it about some of our pro features or just about our open source libraries, like transformers, diffusers, and so on and so forth. um, Processing that feedback in, working with the team to make sure that um, it's easily digestible by the community. And then, of course, there's a bunch of admin side of things, like making sure that the teams are unblocked and everything works the way it is. And then, lastly, of course, making sure that there's like nice sort of synergy between product teams, like the platform teams, the open source teams, and so on, and everyone just like works together.
Wow, you really are doing everything. I like your email signature. It says whatever needs doing at Hugging Face.
Yeah.
It's it's so good. It's so great.
Yeah.
And before we move on, let's just like set the stage. Like pretend that I have been frozen for like the last 5 years. Can you explain what Hugging Face is?
That's a good question. So Hugging Face is a platform for AI builders, right? It's a platform wherein if you want to access the state of the art open source machine learning models, you would at some point go to, and these models could be LLMs like DeepSeek V3.1 or Quencoder, one of these, or could be state of the art text to video models, could be text to image models, speech recognition models, and so on and so forth. Not just that, like it is a platform through which you can manage your entire life cycle of machine learning experiments. You can deploy models. You can also use serverless models, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I know that Hugging Face is super into open source. I think I am very bullish on open source, and I actually found you, VV, because of the open source community, and you have been hanging out there for the longest. So yeah, it's something that's super cool to see. I think Hugging Face has been the company leading open source AI for a while now. So it's super cool. I think today, actually, one of the reasons that we invited you on is because we have a very cool partnership with Hugging Face and VS Code. Just launched some super cool stuff. You can now access a lot of different models, open source models from VS Code using Hugging Face. So, do you wanna kinda tell us a little bit more about that? I know that we are gonna have a demo just now about it, right?
Talking about the partnership between VS Code and Hugging Face inference providers, I feel like it's good to address why these open weight models are important in a lot of regulated industries like healthcare, FSI, and a lot of projects wherein you're dealing with personally identifiable data, and so on and so forth. You're in most cases not at the liberty to send this data across to a closed source third party, um, provider for intelligence, or LLMs like Could be OpenAI, could be Anthropic, could be Cohere, and so on and so forth. This is where open source or rather open weights models comes in, because you can sort of deploy these models as you want, or you can depend on one of the providers of these open weights models, and you get sort of like this seal of sort of trust that no matter what happens, the model would remain the same as long as it is deployed, right? So for example, like recently we saw that with Claude as well as with like Opus, like Anthropic has this like huge sort of month-wide sort of outage, wherein there was issues with respect to precision on one of their serving stack, and so on.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so these are unavoidable. So no shade on Anthropic, but
No shade. No shade, Dario. No shade, Anthropic.
but it's more like like if you have deployed this model, or if you have a trusted party which has deployed this model, which has a track record, then you know for sure that if you give a prompt ABC, it would always get the output XYZ, right? And you want this for pretty much all of your cases. You want this consistency. This is where Hugging Face Inference Provider comes in, wherein it's essentially a marketplace of a lot of trusted inference providers like Grok, Cerebras, Together, Fireworks, and a lot more. Like we're at about 15 different providers right now, all of which we're testing almost every hour to see like whether or not they are serving their models the way that it should be. And we're providing access to this in like a unified API to any and everyone who comes on the platform, right? And last but not the least, like this is something which we charge no markup on, right? So it's like whatever is the price of the individual providers, that's what we bill the end consumers. And so why is this important for like VS Code? Well, first of all, like it gives you the optionality to use these state-of-the-art open weights models directly in your coding workflows. It could be for specific projects, like for example, like I know for a fact that Qwen 3 Coder, which is an open weights coding model from Qwen, which is a subsidiary of Alibaba, it is a very good model for Rust and also for TypeScript, right? And so sometimes I like to use that model for my use cases. And I since I use VS Code quite a bit, like it's nice to have the option to use this model directly, as I'm using all the other ones like GPT-5 or Sonnet and so on.
Exactly. Quinn is actually one of my favorite models. I think they've done a really good job with that. And I think it's such a high quality model for being open weight. So yeah, that makes sense and super cool. I didn't know actually that you test the providers that they're working like so frequently. That's really cool to see. I think what we like to do on this show is to show people really practical examples of how they can use these things that we're talking about. So do you wanna kinda show us around what this will look like in VS Code? Could we
Sure.
maybe share your screen and take a look?
So as you can see the open source or open weights. I have to say this out loud that I keep using the word open source and open weights interchangeably. Sorry about that. The correct term is open weights. Open source traditionally is used for LLMs, wherein you have access to pretty much the entire stack of the model, meaning from training data all the way from training code, and like weights. So not just like weights itself. So sorry about that. Cool. So then
Yeah,
over here,
that's super interesting. I'm
yeah,
not sure that people know that actually.
yeah, it's there are very few like fully open source models. One of them is from Hugging Face, which is called Small LM. We have
Right.
like a series of these like really small models. Well, I mean, like 3 billion parameter models, like something that could work quite easily on your phone as well as even on like browser. Like it should quite easily work. They are multilingual. Alongside Hugging Face, there's also Allen AI. They have this model called Olmo, which is quite nice, which also works across your devices and so on and so forth. Also fully open source, all the way from like dataset all the way to the model weights and so on. So I think we have the setup. Let's use GPT OSS. What should we try to make?
Let's make I like CLI tools. I don't know. Thoughts on making some kind of CLI tool.
Perfect. Let's do that. I want a CLI.
I like journaling too. Let's make a CLI tool that lets us just keep like a daily journal or something.
That's perfect. Yeah. I like that.
Node. Oh wait. In Python, we can let the model choose whichever framework it wants to use for now.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah. That helps us with journaling.
yeah.
Which helps in journal. Yeah, journaling my day thoughts. Okay, cool. My daily thoughts.
Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, this is vague enough to
For
let
it
it
to just
overlay.
try things. Yeah.
Yeah. While this is running, we did want to ask about like, when you have the model, it says like via and there are like
Yeah.
options there. Like, do you want to talk a little bit about what that means?
Sure. Let me actually open the window again.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what you see here is, let's take this for example, which is Quen 3 next ATB A3B instruct. That's a model released by Quen, which I was talking about earlier. And this via bit is essentially by which provider, right? So um, for example, when it comes to OpenAI, you have GPT-5, GPT-4, GPT-3. All of these models are served by essentially, by and large, only OpenAI, right? You can do custom deployments via, Azure, Bedrock, and so on and so forth. But, by and large, the main provider that you would be using would be OpenAI. In case of open source or open weights models, this changes a bit. Typically, you would have like 6 to 8 different providers which are providing the same model, which have deployed the same model and could have different features. For example, there are certain AI accelerators like Grok, Samba Nova, Cerebras, and so on, which are known to have like some of the fastest deployment of models. Of course, it sometimes comes at a premium, right? So you pay for the fast sort of tokens. Then at the same time, there might be some sort of like industry standards, like sort of like industry veterans, like Together AI, Hyperbolic, Nebius, and Scale, and so on. And like Fireworks, for example, which are known to be like one of the most sort of like accurate deployments. In some cases, they're also faster than like AI accelerators. But bottom line, you have a lot of optionality, right? So this means that you can, if you want to find the cheapest provider out there for these models, you can choose like the cheapest one. If you want the most fastest one, you can choose the most fastest one, and so on and so forth. That being said, like, any model that you see over here should work 100% the way that it is supposed to, with respect to like accuracy and so on. And then with respect to speed, like you can test them out and see like which one sort of works the best for you and so on. Just like one last thing to note is that, as you saw over here, like I was using the model via Cerebras. Like by the time we even said anything, like the model was done,
Yeah.
outgate these guys.
I was literally about to say that it's pretty quick, like a
Yeah.
pretty good experience, and I'm definitely gonna try selecting models from like different providers and just see, because I think it's good for you also to, how we have like specific preferences for models. Like when I do this type of task, I like to use this one. When I do this type of task, I like to use that one. Like now
Yeah.
the additional step is like, oh, with like open weight models, you also have the option to select different providers. So like there's a level of customization there that you just can't get like closed weight ones. So yeah, it's interesting to kind of learn that type of, I guess, skill as well.
Yeah.
It's just more options are better.
There's also like another point, which is again, taking the example of Claude, for example. Recently, they had like an issue with respect to their model deployment. Like you just don't have any other way to get around it, right? If you just have like one sort of provider of as I like to say, intelligence for your app or whatever it may be, you're pretty much just like left there as like a sitting duck.
Out of luck. Yeah.
Super high risk. Definitely. I agree with that. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people have been like, oh, why do we need all these different frameworks? So why do you need all these different inference providers and not just use OpenAI, for example? But it's like, it's such a big risk if they just go down, your whole system is down. Whereas if you have, these options, and Hugging Face obviously gives us that optionality, which is really nice. So very cool.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what it built.
Yeah.
It looks pretty solid. Like, so it essentially, you have like a journal.json. You can load it, you can save it. What I find quite interesting is that it tried to keep it as like using just system library. So there is no typer, there is no click and so on. Which, I mean, I am a huge fan of. I'm a fan of like keeping dependencies as little as possible or as low as possible.
I love
Um, so that's quite cool. And there's like an add entry, a view entry, list entries, and it's pretty basic, but looks pretty cool.
Can we try it out? I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try running it.
later on, if we just run Python journal CLI.py.
Yeah. Let's
We could also ask it, hey, how do I?
Yeah, we just get to run it for us. If we
well,
want.
actually, if you see on the right side, like it gives like proper steps and so on as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you're right.
How to use it?
It's like, I know you don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
And why is it saying liquid executable? Why do we need to make it executable? Is my only thing. Okay, I guess maybe it just verifies.
Yeah, maybe just to be able to run the script.
Yeah.
So let's create. Oh, for some reason the V key on my keyboard stopped working.
Oh, please.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
But it's okay.
Shout out to UV though. UV's awesome.
UV is awesome. Yeah,
big
it
fan.
literally has changed my life. My skin is brighter.
Get it to come here.
Yeah. Glad to see like the community seems to also be really adopting it. So hopefully we'll have a little more stability in that area that's been notoriously difficult for Python. It's good.
Yeah. Let's see. What is it? Are you able to see my screen properly? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe
Human,
one
this
more.
say one more thing. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Perfect. So let's see what's the help say? Okay. So add a journal entry. Let's do add add -p.
On Python. Today I'm on Python on Azure show. I mean, a good idea. Yay.
I like this. Honestly, we should all have this tool.
I agree.
Just quick brain dumps, free up the mind. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just added an entry. Let's see if we can see it. Oh, there is an entry.
Okay, that's the
Nice. The date and everything.
how we see the contents.
View.
So
Isn't it view?
Oh, view your
Yeah.
date.
You can get to dash D.
Bit weird, but in terms of syntax, but I think this is it.
Yeah.
Oh,
see,
sick.
it works.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Let's take it to the next step. Let's maybe switch it up to use typer
Okay.
or
I really
maybe
like Rich. I feel like Rich
yeah,
is
let's
so underrated. Will,
Okay.
if you're watching this, I'm advocating for Rich because Rich is underrated, the Python library, but it's okay. We can use Typer as well if you're comfortable with Typer.
No, well, I mean, it doesn't matter what I am comfortable in. It's what the model is comfortable in. So let's try Rich. As to use Rich, a nice TUI, because why not?
Heck yeah. TUIs are back in fashion.
Yeah.
Having a comeback.
People like.
I just love how fast it is. Like it's
Yeah.
it's just
God. Yeah.
like it's just done. That's it.
Wow.
And all right. So I guess the only thing we need to add over here is Perfect. Let's do journal. So it's still the same. Let's see how the view is. Oh no, now we have like
Okay.
a
Okay.
nicer looking view.
Yeah. A good start. We need some colors.
Yeah.
So you can see that it made some updates
Mhm.
over here, and let me try and add. Let's see, journal. Oh, it's quite weird that the terminal just decides to act up.
Yeah. That's great. What are you using in your terminal? What is this?
What what's
I
this?
feel like your terminal has a different. No,
Oh, I just use ZSH and with some, I don't know. I looked at my,
Autocomplete extension or
yeah,
something? Yeah.
yeah. It's been like, what is that? It's been set in like every time I change my laptop, I go through this process of looking at previous laptops, like all the dependencies and so on, and like what I used to use, and then I make a decision on what to keep and not, and then
Yeah.
I forget about it. Um, and so yeah, so for this one, like this is the character it chose. But yeah, so I mean, we can see that there is a TUI, but maybe we should add some more color to it.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely need more color.
let's make
And I think it could be a little bit more like like I don't know. I think it could be more
and a
interactive.
more TUI.
Yeah, I mean more to you.
More what if we had like templates? Like, oh,
Okay.
journal dash dash daily, and then it gives you like 3 prompts, like, how are you feeling today? What did you do bad today? What did you do great? And then it prints it out nicely.
Exactly. Very cool.
I journal a lot, but I do different like day stuff and then weekly stuff and then monthly stuff. It's really helpful. I
Nice.
recommend.
Yeah. That's very cool. I used to journal a lot. And then I was like, I feel like I can't keep up with it. And I felt like I was I feel like I'm already kind of neurotic. I was just like going over my same thought over and over again on paper. But it can be helpful, I feel like, journaling. And maybe if I had an app, maybe this app will be.
It's like your work. This is so fast. I'm just like so impressed right now. This is definitely something I need to add to
Yeah.
my daily workflows.
Yeah, so you can see like it has like bunch of themes now. Um,
Colorful and Zen. I wonder what it's gonna interpret as Zen. We'll see what it.
What is this Mordor?
Yeah. What is?
I have no clue.
Wait, is that an actual word?
I don't know. Let's look it
Actually,
up.
don't know.
Maybe ask it.
Yeah, ask it what is Mordor.
What's
Why should it be something crazy?
Yeah.
oh, it's moderating. Did it mean moderating? Actually, no.
Often shows
No?
into moderation.
That's
No, it's thinking it's your side.
Oh, I think it's maybe let me just add.
yeah. Select it. Yeah, is that a
Oh, they are.
Motorting?
I
What
could
did
also
you?
Google it. I'm gonna look.
I did. I didn't see anything.
You did. Interesting.
Uh,
I feel like it just maybe it meant morning. I feel like this should have been morning and it like
Sure. But I think it just took it too literally. Like it was like,
Yeah.
what it does is like whatever. Or maybe I can ask it to be um let's like keep all, and let's select this, and let's open an inline chart, and over here let's actually select another model, because why not? Um update this to my daily journal. Thanks. Always thank your models.
yeah. They said that wasting the energy of the planet.
Oh, it is?
Saints. and being polite. There's an article about it and everything.
Daily.
Oh, you keep
It's
daily.
struggling with the ASCII art.
Yeah. That's actually interesting.
Need
Yeah.
you, sir.
I feel like maybe because it's I don't know. Maybe it's because of the long. Maybe we should just say journal or something.
No, but it's good to see where it struggles.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes that's it. I like how it went from just saying something random and then like over here daily journal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Then
So let's give it one more try.
in ASCII. Yeah.
Yeah. Do not miss that, please.
Oh no, it is. What is?
Can't do it. I don't even know what that says right now.
I don't know.
Hey, now I'm curious if like all models struggle with this.
Let's try.
Wanted a bunch to generate these sort of ASCII things for CLI, and it works really well with
Okay, let's try Sonnet.
borders. It might just be the open weights models. Maybe they were trained
Could be.
before this was popular. I don't know.
It's so interesting.
It is. There we go.
That's better, right?
Uh,
exactly, but close.
let's well, I mean, now we know that it's not bad.
It's better. Yeah.
It's like you can say that it's flying, you know? Not bad. So let's just keep it as is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this. This is the character for the day. So let's
This is the new benchmark. This is the new pelican on a bicycle.
Honestly, yeah. You're onto something, Marlene. You should publish this benchmark.
We're going to do that.
okay, wait. I didn't save it.
But I really like that feature as well, that you can go in an inline chat and change a specific thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a super cool feature.
Yeah.
So let's
I guess if you wanted to have like a different model for like more precise changes, yeah, that would
Literally,
yeah.
100%.
All right, this table's looking better.
We're getting there.
it's yet another entry, but for some reason it's because I think one of the models messed up
Only
the
changed.
indentation.
Yeah.
Okay. Daily Jorn. Or whatever. Daily Jorn.
Okay. Product 4 would have gotten this right. I know because I've used it a bunch to do these things.
Okay.
This is nice. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. What other models are there on that are provided? Do you have like good image generation models that come out of Hugging Face as well? Do we have access to those, for example?
So it's like this integration is just for LLMs more specifically because the way we go about it is like we test all of these models and then we add like support to those via the extension, right? However, you can use the Hugging Face MCP server to try this out. So let's maybe try since the image models are not really accessible via inference providers, and just by and large, like they're not accessible even, for example, for GPT-5 or Sonnet. You can't really like create images directly from VS Code. What we can do is we can use MCP server in this case, and in this very case, specifically the Hugging Face MCP server to try and generate some images. The way you'd have to set it up is you would have to have the Hugging Face MCP server installed. You can do so by So what we can do is like this is the typical sort of homepage you get as soon as you log into Hugging Face. What you can do is then like head to your settings, and within settings you can find MCP over here, which would provide you with all the different steps you need to either set up your like the HFMCP server within your individual either CLI or IDE. So you can see that we have like options for VS Code, Cursor, Codex, and so on and so forth. And there are like two things. There's like built-in tools as well as like spaces. So built-in tools are like, let's say you want to just like quickly search for a model on Hugging Face. You want to, search for the best text-to-speech model in the last week, or like best text-to-speech model for German as a language. So you can just like use that as a query to the model, and then the model will look through all the available models within Hugging Face and give you like top 5, top 10. You can do so for academic papers with paper semantic search. You can get more fine-grained information on these models. You can also like, because of like how many libraries we have within like the Hugging Face ecosystem, like you can also do like documentation semantic search. This is updated every day. Um,
Yeah.
and so on. But what I like the most about this is you can use Hugging Face spaces as MCP servers. Now, a quick refresher on what Hugging Face spaces are is there's like close to like a million different sort of AI apps on Hugging Face, which you can use for free. These are powered by our serverless GPU sort of offering, which is free of cost. Like you can just like create an account, go to any of these apps, and try this out, right? But by and large, if you look at any of these, they require you to, I don't know, like put an input image and then like get like some sort of output out, right? This is an example of an image to video model, right? And you can see that you give it like a cat input or whatever, you know like
Yeah.
an image input, and it gives you like a video out, right? But like a model or like an LLM cannot really like access it. And this is where MCP comes in, wherein like you can expose this space as like a MCP server. And
Very nice.
it's pretty convenient because you can just add this space. For example, over here, I can just add like any space, like text to speech model, for example. And as soon as I add it, it would automatically, as long as my VS Code is configured with this, uh, sort of um, like as soon as the HFMCP server is configured with my VS Code, all of these spaces that I add here will automatically become tools that my LLM can then use, right? So let's take this out for a spin. Actually, let's make the model make some dogs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cool. I think the stasis thing is the thing that I didn't know about with the Hugging Face MCP server, because I love Hugging Face spaces. One of my favorite spaces is Deep Site. I think that's very cool, where you can ask it to generate a website for you, and you can see that in real time. And I think that's a super cool space. So we'll be testing that out for sure. After this.
Nice. Yeah. Use the tools provided to you. So over here, I just like ask it to create like an image of a Labrador playing. And you can see that as soon as I press, enter, like it figures out this space, which is flux.1 Kriya. This is an open weights model from Black Forest Labs, which is fine-tuned for aesthetics. You can see a couple of things. So it takes the prompt. First of all, it upsamples the prompt. So my prompt was just, image of a Labrador playing around during sunset. But the actual prompt it plays is it sends is anime-style illustration of a playful Labrador dog running, jumping around, warm orange, pink sky, dynamic motion, and all of that. So, like instead of you having to come up with like this prompt, it automatically upsamples it with like all of this information, and it sends the width, the height, and number of inference steps and so on. All of these things you would have to figure out in like a typical, manual setup wherein you're trying to play around with this. But this all like the model takes care of you. So
Sure.
let's hit allow. and you can see that it's sending this as the input to the MCP server. This is a very large model, but all of this computation happens on a remote serverless machine, which is powered by zero GPU in our case, and we just get the output out. So it's processing now. Hopefully, we won't get any errors.
Nope. You
No,
spoke too
You
soon.
did.
let's try it again.
Keep me task aborted.
Yeah, that's weird. It should not throw that error, but let's see.
You can't say hopefully we won't get any errors to jinxes them on it,
Yeah.
you know?
Fault in our GPUs.
Should also add that your VS Code has full MCP support, so that's the reason why not only for like this server, like you're able to use it inside of GitHub Copilot Chat, but like a bunch others. I'll make sure to link in the resources a stream we did with Marlene a couple months ago on just like more MCP plus VS Code stuff.
Yeah. For some reason, though, it's still erroring out. Okay, wait. Let me check one quick thing. Maybe let's try a different example.
Can we just try Cure Flux model? Will it work, do you think? Just hacking RP.
Should work. I just don't know why it's throwing these random errors. I like never encountered these.
It's because we're on a stream.
Yeah, the demo.
The dip. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep this one. Let's just make it easy for the module. Let's take this and let's run it again.
Okay. Let's go ahead and try.
It's still trying to do. Why is it trying to do this? Okay. Just restarted the server, discovered 3 tools, and let's try again.
What?
No responses are terrible. Maybe we thought that models are selected in the server config.
Okay. Oh, wait. It worked. I think it was just trying to restart the server.
Okay, cool.
Love it.
It looks like it's working now.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh, no,
Payload
it's
too
still
large.
there.
Payload too
It's
large.
still there. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
it worked.
finally.
Good damn
Yeah,
it.
with this actually, it's a very nice image actually.
Yeah. I love a Labrador.
Yeah, but so like what you can do is then like, for example, like take this image and like throw it into a text to video model or like an image to video model and then have it do its thing. These are more like, fun use cases, but in reality, like, I have been using this for, for example, exposing FMPEG as like an MCP server and then like, throwing in some audio files and having it create some nice sort of audio waveform videos, which then I can use for, posting on social media or like, Twitter or like LinkedIn and so on. Just generally like asking it to do some random searches and like scrape some stuff from here and there, put it in a JSON file and so on. And you can do all of this like right from VS Code. So it's quite helpful in that way.
Awesome. I think we're close to wrapping up, but we wanted to ask you a couple more questions about just some like opinions you have with this field that we're in, kind of talking, just leaning more into, this, what we're talking about, open source, open weights. And like, do you think, okay, where do you think we are headed in terms of like models? Do you see open weight models actually becoming like the tools that everyone are capable or like are going to be using? Like, is that what you want to happen? Is it real? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
I think that's a good question, right? It's and there's no like sort of easy answer to it, right? I don't want to, like sound like someone who's always preaching like, open source models and so on. I do use, Codex CLI. I do use Cloud Code. I do use, ChatGPT on my day-to-day life as well. But that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that I use, right? Like I do also, for example, use DeepSeek models quite a bit as well. I feel like there's like place for each and every different sort of, model out there. What we're seeing, especially in this year, is that a lot of these open models are becoming better and better. What that means is, now you have Kimi K2, which is a model which was released like earlier this year, which is like on par with Claude Sonnet, is open weights. And you have varying amounts of sort of providers providing this model, meaning you have a fast option, you have a more accurate option, you have a cheaper option, you have a medium scale option, you can deploy this model yourself, and so on and so forth, right? And we're seeing that models are sort of catching up to the frontier, right? Up until mid of last year, like this, the frontier, frankly, was just unattainable, right? But with all this recent sort of open research around reasoning models and opening reasoning up, which is what the first DeepSeek R1 model did, which went like mega viral. Like it blew through like the standard sort of AI bubble, like it went across it, right? And a lot of people used it and so on. And now we're seeing that, there is place for these open source models. Not just that, the ability to fine tune these models, right, is like quite appealing to a lot of these corporations. Like for example, for a very simple sort of classification task, you don't really want to like call OpenAI GPT-5 just to be like, here is our text, and put it in like these 5 categories. You can actually just take something like Gemma 3 280 million parameter model, something as small that even would run on like a CPU, and just fine tune it, right? As a matter of fact, like one quick anecdote, like where I use open models quite a bit, is I live in Paris, and for better or for worse, my French is really bad. Right? Oftentimes, like for like either academic or for just like normal email communication with like admin stuff and so on, I do require French skills. Oftentimes, like the translate feature on Gmail would not work the way that I want it to. So what I would do, I have this really simple sort of CLI which like calls small lm 3b, which is like I copy and paste the text and it translates it to English, and I give it like my English thoughts. I ask it to just make it like more formal sounding, so that like I'm not just saying, hey dude, like do this. you know and it just like then converts it into French. It's a very simple use case, and like every time if I think about like what kind of data am I sending to all these closed source providers and so on, like it's just becomes like a bit of a you know overload, like cognitive overload. But in this case, like it's just an open source model, which I can just like call, and it's there. um Maybe just like parting thought, like like in terms of like where these models are headed, like I like as we go forward, like the models would continue becoming smaller and smaller. At the start of the year, the state of the art open source or open weights model was DeepSeek R1, which was 685 billion parameters. Now you have the state of the art at close to 120 billion parameters. So within the same year, we have reduced the amount of compute required to have like a frontier level model at your desktop, has gone down by like 4x or whatever it may be. I'm pretty sure that it's going to go down like even further and further and further, which means that you could have like something which is like very close to something like GPT-5, but like running on your Mac or running on your laptop and so on.
That would be awesome. That sounds like ideal, honestly. Yeah. Marlene, did you have any last questions you wanted to touch on?
Uh, Not really. I think I really agree with the models becoming smaller. That's my hope, because they think it's going to be better for us as an industry if the models are more accessible on people's laptops. So I totally agree with that, and I think that's where the industry is going to next. So really good thought. I'm really impressed, Gwen. Do you have any last thoughts or?
I mean, I guess let's just take some time to really appreciate Hugging Face. I think y'all do great work and stand for something that is so important. And um, I don't know. It was just like Hugging Face. I feel like embodies everything that we should be working towards, and like the kind of mentality that we should have in this space. So Obviously, it's Hugging Face obviously has great and awesome people who embody that as well, and you're a clear example of that. So yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate the time you've spent with us today. Always love seeing what you're up to, and you'll have to check back in with us in I don't know, sometime next year, and we can talk about all the new exciting things that Hugging Face
Definitely.
has for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say that, like I'm a huge fan of all things like Azure, Microsoft in general, like, just like it's, all the work that we've been collectively doing either with like Azure or with like VS Code, and just generally I like the fact that we're all sort of like heads down trying to democratize the use of these,
Yeah.
AI models, be it in dev tools, be it in, um, Office 365, whatever it may be, like, just like making sure that more and more people are, exposed to these, develop intelligence and like sort of just benefit from it. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for
I did
being here.
want to shout out though, the last point you reminded me that if you are using Azure AI Foundry, the Foundry's models, all the models that are in VS Code are also available in Azure AI Foundry. So if you go to the playground, the Foundry playground, you can go ahead and like select the catalog and you'll see all of the models that VD shared. I don't know if the spaces are available, but the models for sure are.
Definitely the models are, yeah.
Awesome. We'll make sure to drop a link to check that out as well in the description. And once again, Vivi, thank you so much for being here. And everyone, hope you have a great rest of your day.